Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reading chapter 3, Imagination and Faith, from Neville Goddard's book, Prayer, the Art of Believing. So we'll be reading the entire chapter, as well as try to unpack what Neville is trying to relay to us. So without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 3, Imagination and Faith. Prayers are not successfully made unless there is a rapport between the conscious and subconscious mind of the operator. This is done through imagination and faith. So here we're being told that in order for our prayers to successfully reach the subconscious mind, we need to use our imagination mixed in with faith. By the power of imagination, all men, certainly imaginative men, are forever casting forth enchantments, and all men, especially unimaginative men, are continually passing under their power. Can we ever be certain that it was not our mother, while darning our socks, who began that subtle change in our minds? If I can unintentionally cast an enchantment over persons, there is no reason to doubt that I am able to cast intentionally a far stronger enchantment. So we can unintentionally make an assumption about someone. That person is no good. That person is always in trouble. They will always be this way. Unintentionally casting that onto them. And he's saying to us that we can actually cast a far greater enchantment onto them intentionally. And we can use that for the greater good for them and ourselves. Everything that can be seen, touched, explained, argued over, is to the imaginative man nothing more than a means, for he functions by reason of his controlled imagination. In the deep of himself, where every idea exists in itself and not in relation to something else. In him there is no need for the restraints of reason, for the only restraint he can obey is the mysterious instinct that teaches him to eliminate all moods other than the mood of the fulfilled desire. So, living in the end, whatever your goal is to be, it will take a conscious, deliberate effort to live from that end and not entertain any opposing thoughts. Single-mindedness. Imagination and faith are the only faculties of the mind needed to create objective conditions. The faith required for the successful operation of the law of consciousness is a purely subjective faith, and is attainable upon the cessation of active opposition on the part of the objective mind of the operator. So again, here we're being told that the two faculties of the mind that are needed to objectify our desires is imagination mixed in with faith. And he is also telling us once again that basically you cannot live in the wish desired and also live in the lack of the wish desired. So you have to control your thoughts and feelings and have that single-mindedness and eliminate any opposing thought that would contradict you not having that desired wish. It depends on your ability to feel and accept as true what your objective senses deny. So, how good are you at this? You see that the bank account says you are at $17. However, you, in your mind, you see yourself as a millionaire. So how good are you to deny what you currently see in the outer world and actually believe and feel what you want to be? Neither the passivity of the subject nor his conscious agreement with your suggestion is necessary, for without his consent or knowledge he can be given a subjective order which he must objectively express. It is a fundamental law of consciousness that by telepathy we can have immediate communion with another. So, for example, that job that you want, the interviewer, the person that's hiring, if you make the decision in your mind, you see it in your mind, you are working at that current job, you are currently there, then in other words, God does not need the, or, higher power, whatever you want to call it, does not need the permission of the interviewer for you to be hired. That person's consent is not needed for your manifestation to come true. To establish rapport, you call the subject mentally, focus your attention on him, and mentally shout his name just as you would to attract attention of anyone. Imagine that he answered and mentally hear his voice. Represent him to yourself inwardly in the state you want him to obtain. Then imagine that he is telling you in the tones of ordinary conversation what you want to hear. Mentally answer him. Tell him of your joy in witnessing his good fortune. Having mentally heard with all the distinctness of reality that which you wanted to hear, and having thrilled to the news heard, return to objective consciousness. Your subjective conversation must awaken what it affirmed. So, say for instance that you are not on good terms with someone, whether it's a family member, your specific person, a friend, whomever. Go into your imagination. See them in your imagination. Call their name. Bruce, Susie, Bob, whoever it is. Have them answer you. Hear their voice answering you. And whatever it is that would indicate to you that you guys are on good terms, this is just an example, by the way. Say something to them that would be an indication that you guys are, happy and okay and good with each other, and have them answer you back, confirming that. And just see the vividness of it as much as you can, distinctly hear their voice, hear them answer you. And then once you have, felt that scene, heard it, and using all the tones of reality in there, come back to objective consciousness. And he's telling us that your subjective conversation must awaken what it affirmed, meaning it will come to life. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. It is not a strong will that sends the subjective word on its mission so much as it is clear thinking and feeling the truth of the state affirmed. When belief and will are in conflict, belief invariably wins. So here we're being told that we can use basically our will to hold the idea in our mind. However, that's not enough. Whatever it is that you believe is what will transpire in your life. That will be the outcome of your life. It's basically our outer world is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is whatever that is that you believe about yourself, about others, about the world, is what will and is manifesting in your day-to-day life. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. It is not what you want that you attract. You attract what you believe to be true. Therefore, get into the spirit of these mental conversations and give them the same degree of reality that you would a telephone conversation. And what I'm understanding also is that when you say get into the spirit of having these mental conversations, this is probably not a one-off thing that you want to do. This is something that should be a practice in our day-to-day life. If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. The acceptance of the end wills the means, and the wisest reflection could not devise more effective means than those which are willed by the acceptance of the end. Mentally talk to your friends as though your desires for them were already realized. So this does not just work for us. You can actually manifest things for others as well. Imagination is the beginning of the growth of all forms, and faith is the substance out of which they are formed. By imagination, that which exists in latency or is asleep within the deep of consciousness is awakened and is given form. So basically, again, we're told that it's not enough just to imagine something. You have to believe in your imagination, whatever it is that you want to imagine. And think about it. If everything that we imagined came to life, that would be not a good thing, because sometimes we don't imagine the best things. We imagine far out things, sometimes bad things. So, it's a good thing that we have to actually believe in that imagination, and having this knowledge is directing us to use our imagination wisely and to be careful as to what we're believing. The cures attributed to the influence of certain medicines, relics, and places are the effects of imagination and faith. The curative power is not in the spirit of that is in them. It is in the spirit in which they are accepted. The letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. So basically, this is kind of like the placebo effect. It's not so much what's in that sugar pill, it's the belief that, that pill is going to cure you of your ailment. The subjective mind is completely controlled by suggestion. So whether the object of your faith be true or false, you will get the same results. There is nothing unsound in the theory of medicine or in the claims of priesthood for their relics and holy places. The subjective mind of the patient accepts the suggestion of health, conditioned on such states, and as soon as these conditions are met, proceeds to realize health. According to your faith, be it done unto you, For all things are possible to him that believeth. So, in other words, we're being told that the subconscious mind does not care what you believe is true or not. It will accept what you say at its word. So, if you are healthy and you keep repeating that you are sick, and become sick, and vice versa. If you are sick and you keep repeating that you are healthy with belief, then you can become healthy. And that works for any idea, not just health. Confident expectation of a state is the most potent means of bringing it about. The confident expectation of a cure does that which no medical treatment can accomplish. Wow. So if you expect to be healthy, if you expect to be well, if you expect to be successful, if you expect to be married, happily married, if you expect fill in the blank, then no other force can intervene. Failure is always due to an antagonistic autosuggestion by the patient, arising from objective doubt of the power of medicine or relic, or from doubt of the truth of the theory. I want to stop here really quickly. So basically, failure is due to the opposing thoughts that we have to the idea of health, wealth, etc. And that we also, it's not just in the idea of what we would like to be, do, or have, but also not believing in the theory in itself that this is how things work. Many of us, either from too little emotion or too much intellect, both of which are stumbling blocks in the way of prayer, cannot believe that which our senses deny. To force ourselves to believe will end in greater doubt. To avoid such counter-suggestions, the patient should be unaware objectively of the suggestions which are made to him. So basically, it's better for us to not be aware of the suggestions that we want our subconscious mind to accept. And this is where the sleep affirmations come in, because your conscious mind cannot intervene and say this isn't true, or that isn't true, or that will never happen, or any opposing thought to the idea that you want your subconscious mind to accept. And by the way, if we are wondering why this is so important for our subconscious mind to accept these ideas, it's because our subconscious mind controls 95% of our life. That is pretty significant. Let's continue. To avoid such counter-suggestions, the patient should be unaware objectively of the suggestions which are made to him. The most effective method of healing or influencing the behavior of others consists in what is known as the silent or absent treatment. When the subjective is unaware, objectively, of the suggestion given to him, there is no possibility of him setting up an antagonistic belief. Again, this is what we were just saying, that if you are consciously unaware of what is being fed to your subconscious mind, then it is easier for your subconscious mind to get to work without interference from your current beliefs. It is not necessary that the patient know objectively that anything is being done for him. From what is known of the subjective and objective processes of reasoning, it is better that he should not know objectively of that which is being done for him. The more completely the objective mind is kept in ignorance of the suggestion, the better will the subjective mind perform its functions. The subject subconsciously accepts the suggestion and thinks he originates it, proving the truth of Spinoza's dictum that we know not the causes that determine our actions. So if you think about people who go on stage and they get hypnotized and they go into this deep sleep, or however, they put them into hypnosis, and then the hypnotist will make a suggestion to them that they're a chicken because of the hypnosis they are under. They wake up believing that they are a chicken. The subconscious mind has accepted that idea, and they get out of the hypnosis and wake up clucking like a chicken. The subconscious mind is the universal conductor which the operator modifies with his thoughts and feelings. Visible states are either the vibratory effects of subconscious vibrations within you, or they are vibratory causes of the corresponding vibrations within you. In other words, your current reality is the effect of your current vibration that you are on. And also, it is very likely the cause of the vibration that you are in. So it is the cause and effect, because whatever that you see in your current reality, you are accepting as true, and therefore you are vibrating at that consciousness, and you are emitting the same vibrations. And it's basically a loop that you are what you call stuck in. Therefore, this is why we're being told to create what we want in our mind, vibrate. Our consciousness will emit these vibrations that, based on the ideas and the feelings that you have within you, and in turn, it will reflect into our reality. This is how you are breaking the same cycle, the same loop of the effects that you have in your life. A disciplined man never permits them to be causes unless they awaken in him the desirable states of consciousness. With a knowledge of the law of reversibility, the disciplined man transforms his world by imagining and feeling only what is lovely and of good report. The beautiful idea he awakens within himself shall not fail to arouse its affinity in others. He knows the Savior of the world is not a man, but the manifestation that would save. The sick man's Savior is health. The hungry man's is food. The thirsty man's Savior is water. So again, he's telling us what we're saying here is that you have to pretty much ignore what you see in your reality that you do not desire, that you do not like, and cultivate that feeling, those thoughts, feelings, emotions, visions of what you do want. And you have to be disciplined enough to do this. Otherwise, the loop will continue. And this is where we all, pretty much can get frustrated from, because we don't see the effects right away. So we think it's not working. He walks in the company of the Savior by assuming the feeling of his wish fulfilled. By the law of reversibility, that all transformations of force are reversible, the energy or feeling awakened transforms itself into the state imagined. He never waits 4 months for the harvest. If in 4 months the harvest will awaken in him a state of joy, then inversely the joy of harvest now will awaken the harvest now. In other words, I did also make I believe it was chapter 2, Law of Reversibility. I did make a video on that where he speaks about that if something can cause on the outside can cause or generate a feeling within you. So say, for example, let's say you got $1,000 bonus. That will generate a feeling within you. You feel a little bit more at ease, you have some money, some extra money. Inversely, if you have that feeling, if you cultivate that feeling that you have that $1,000 now, then the outcome in the world, it will objectify. So it's basically as within, so without. And he's also telling us that you don't have to wait for this to happen. You can create this instantly within you. Now is the acceptable time to give beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. All right, guys, so that is the end of chapter 3 from Neville Goddard's book, Prayer, the Art of Believing. So I will make other videos as well following this one with the other chapters that are to come. I hope this has been of some value to you. And just remember that you can do anything that you want in this world, have anything that you want, be anything that you want. And, just work at it and use your beautiful mind, because your imagination is given to you for a reason, and whatever it is that you imagine, only you can see that vision. No one else will see what it is that you see in your mind. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.